Hey, photo friends. Welcome back to Photographer Life Check. I'm your host, Qurissy, and today we have Priscilla Grubo.
Hello.
Priscilla, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. We're happy to have you all the way from Germany. I'm so excited to get into this conversation. But I want to start off like we always do with a little photographer fit check. So let the people know something you're wearing. It could be your earrings, glasses, nothing crazy.
All right. So I have a probably my favorite how do you call that? I don't know the word in English, but a black shirt, let's say.
Yeah.
Very comfy. I have some earrings out of wood. I think those are O's, and a really good friend of mine gifted them to me. And
They're really
just my
pretty.
glasses. Thank you.
I love them. Also, it's funny you say owls,
Yeah.
owls. I would say
Owls.
owls.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to correct me on the pronunciation. I'm not sure of every word.
No, I don't even think this is a correction. I think it's just like, oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that's how you would say it. Photographer fit check for me. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm on my period, so I have a heating pad on my back right now, and I just have a little comfy, cute shirt from the Gap, and my little purple hair, and I feel really beautiful today, even though I'm a
You
little
are.
achy, breaky in the back. And thank you.
Yeah, and I love that you're matching your wolves.
She's a purple gal.
That's just perfect.
Right? It was meant to be.
It was.
Okay, let's get into the photographer life check. If you're tuning in for the first time, photographer life check, we're just checking in with our image makers about what's going on in their career, something exciting, what's happening. And today, I really wanted to check in with you about one, the way you position yourself as a brand photographer. I think it's really cool. And we're going to get into the work. I love showing the work while we're talking about it. So if you're watching, you can watch us on YouTube or Spotify so you can see Priscilla's amazing work. But two, I also want to know what it's like being a Black woman photographer in Munich, Germany. And for a little bit more context, especially for the listeners, most of our listeners are actually from America, like our top three places are America, Canada, and Nigeria. Shout out to our Niger brothers and sisters. We see y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all be pulling up. And there's two things I'm thinking about. So, number one of my biggest goals is to take this podcast on tour. I can't wait to be in person in general, but I also can't wait to be in person with people like you. Like, I want to be in Germany. I want to be in London. I want to talk to Black women photographers everywhere and show people like how we're living and the work that we're creating everywhere that we are. And two, being in America, I recognize, and we talked about this in our earlier conversation, that some folks in America just truly don't know that one, there is huge Black culture, and even further, Black women photographers who are creating lives for themselves, have incredible careers, and like really sustaining themselves off this art. And I want more of us to know that that is an option and not necessarily like that you need to move abroad, even though I think that would be awesome for many Black women photographers in America. But just that, like, look at us and what we're doing in all these different places. So I am so, so humbly grateful that you could be here to just start off this incredible manifestation. I think it's going to be such an incredible conversation because I think you're so incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it is I think it is special to be a Black women photographer in Germany. I originally come from France. I moved to Munich I think 7 years ago. And I moved into the industry and I started by assisting a lot of Munich photographers. And they were then mainly white male photographers.
Hmm.
Very, very open, very nice. I learned so much with them. And then when I decided to go on my way and assist a bit less and like have my own clients, I I really realized, okay, as a Black woman, um, I felt a bit alone to be honest,
Mhm.
because I don't know a lot of them, especially where in Munich. I think I know one other Black woman photographer, and I know a few that are in Berlin or Bremen in
Mhm.
other cities, but it's not that common, which, you know, on a, you know, purely marketing perspective could be something that is a good thing, that is an advantage. I know that Munich in Germany has a strong cultural focus,
Mhm.
and they want, you know, diversity, inclusion. So I've had a lot of opportunities also to show my work, to do
Nice.
exhibitions because I was a Black photographer, and I guess they don't find one very often.
Right. How do you feel about that? Does that make you uncomfortable? Does that excite you? Does it feel like an opportunity?
I think two things can be true. So I
That part.
feel very, yeah. On one hand, I feel very honored and I feel very grateful to have those opportunities that I'm not even looking for. They just come in form of an email. Hey, I'm doing this exhibition with a CD. Do you want to be in? You know?
Mm,
So it's for the most part super easy. On the other hand, I'm also very aware of
mm,
what role I'm playing into that, right? Um, and I choose to see it more as a positive thing because I do believe that, you know, we have to start somewhere to show diversity, to be more inclusive as a society.
mhm.
But yeah, I still stay aware that, you know, I don't know if I want to throw in the word token, but it could be some people, some Black people might feel like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so then what do sets look like for you when you're leading sets in particular? Are they especially commercial? Because I recognize for brand photography, it might be a little more intimate, but are they demographically diverse? Not necessarily just race, but age, gender, etc.
Yeah, I work primarily with business owners, entrepreneurs. So it's a lot of one-on-one photo shoots.
Nice.
And I love that I get to work with very different type of people. So I have women with, you know, two kids in their 50s, they're professors, they're authors. But I also have, you know, CEOs, white men, last week, and I love that. I love that diversity. I mostly work with women. Women are more attracted to my work.
Yeah.
But I really love the diversity. I also did, for example, some photos for a pharma company few weeks ago. So that was like a bigger set. Obviously, I had an assistant working with the marketing department. And yeah, that's super exciting to be able to be on different locations and meet so many people.
And I love the way you photograph women. I'm actually going to pull up your page right now. Oh my goodness. I think it's really romantic not knowing anything about these women and seeing their softness, seeing their strength. Everyone looks like themselves. And I think that's the interesting
Yeah.
part about it is like, I don't know them, but I'm getting so much of their personality from their images. And I think it's harder than people know who might not be in this business to photograph people who aren't typically used to being photographed
Yeah.
and, you know, are just people in front of a camera. And he's even as photographers, like sometimes it's hard for me to be photographed too. I direct people all day long. And then when I get in front of the camera, I'm like, you know, like, and
100%.
you know what I mean? So sometimes it is a little difficult to navigate like how to make someone comfortable in front of the camera to really let their personality shine. And I just really love that. I feel like you do that so well. So I'm curious, what kind of photographer are you, excuse me, in that way? Like, are you directing them with questions? Are you just telling them, hey, pose like this? I know your
Mm,
intake form is thorough. Like you get a lot of information off the intake form, but can you let us
mhm.
in on your process there?
Yes. So yeah, that's always my goal, that the people that I photograph, when they look at their pictures, when I look at their pictures, anybody look at their pictures, that they can feel like, oh, this is her. Like there is a part of her personality. Those are business owners, but it goes beyond looking professionals, you know?
Right.
It's like, who is the person and what is special about them? That's always what I'm trying to capture. And
Mhm.
so when I start working with someone, I send them like a kind of questionnaire form. And I really want to know, I want to understand what they do and who they're working for, what kind of clients they're working for, what make them special, if they have already maybe like logo or brand colors, that I can also take that into account when I plan their photo shoot with them. And then when we are on set and I take some photos, music is always part of the photo shoot, because I feel like
Yes.
it's very subtle, but it allows them to, you know, in their body to feel a bit more relaxed, right?
Mm.
And how I help them also feel more relaxed and more comfortable, I feel like as an assistant, that was really interesting for me, because I realized I was not giving the direction, so I could observe a lot. And I realized most of people, maybe myself included, I mean, you talked about, you know, being in front of the camera yourself. Um,
Mhm.
w- when the camera is directed at us, we tend to stop breathing. We kind of
Mhm.
freeze, right? Like the first instinct is to be like, okay, I'm gonna stop moving. I'm just gonna look very focused into the camera, and that's it. But I repeat a lot during my photo shoot. I repeat a lot, okay, now take a deep breath. And already
Mhm.
I can see then in the shoulders are more relaxed. And there is like a subtle smile on their face because they feel better. So that's something that I repeat a lot with some people. Like, okay, now just take a few seconds for yourself, you know, move your shoulders, shake it off a little bit. And just, you know, stay in that communication, stay in that exchange, and let them have their, you know, seconds, or let them have their moment where maybe they can, you know, come back to themselves instead of always being focused on me, because that's work, right? That's work to be
Yeah.
photographed. So it's important for me to give them the space to be, and then come back to the camera.
It definitely feels like you make everyone super comfortable on these sets. And I love that I can see that in the images. Um, I'm also wondering what pushed you to even go in this direction? Because you have more work. You have lots of commercial work, some really gorgeous, interesting, like collage pieces that I'm about to pull up too. And for the folks that are wanting to go down this path, like what would you say? This is how you get started. This is why it's like a viable path.
Mm. So when I started, I I was very attracted to the editorial look. And when I say editorial, I wanna say Süddeutsche Magazin. It's like a German magazine, I don't know, but editorial in term of like a bit artsy, a bit dirty, like with the flash on, a bit spontaneous. That was what I was attracted to, and I wanted to get into this bubble, right? And so this is how I started. And then I realized, wait, in the editorial world, there's no money. Like it's
Mhm.
really nice to have your photos printed, and that's good reference, but this is not how you can earn a living with.
Yeah.
So then I had to make a choice of, okay, which path do I take? How do I choose with who I want to work with? And to me, it was very obvious, because I had started to work with a lot of authors, the first years, and I realized it's just easier for me to connect one on one rather than with a communication agency. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like people who are not professional in the industry are also more open. Let's say, I mean, they come to you because they need help, so it's easier for me to connect with them, and that's why I decided to work with them primarily. And I love everyone I work with because they come sometimes and they feel they feel a bit weird about it. They're like, oh, I really don't like to be on camera, I don't like myself
Yeah.
at all, and they kind of tell me, I'm not sure you will manage to have a good picture of me, but
Oh my God, so
let's
many
try.
people say that. And I'm like, and I think that's why it's harder than people realize. Like people who aren't in this intimate setting trying to bring out the best parts of people, you don't realize how personal and how like honest people are with you, like almost immediately. Where it's like, no,
Mhm.
babes, I'm not gonna let you talk about yourself like that. You're
Mm,
gorgeous and we about to get some gorgeous photos.
exactly. But that's the thing, they don't believe you until they see the photos.
Right.
And by the end, they're like, "Oh, wow, I did not know. I didn't believe that this is how it would look like." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is what we
Yeah.
do here."
Man, being a photographer is really just being a people person. Like it's
Mm,
complimenting people a lot and trying to make them feel as good as possible
yeah.
so that
Yeah,
y'all
it's a
can
lot
get the
of
job done.
exactly. It's a lot of reassuring,
Yeah.
listening, and being compassionate and say, "Hey, I hear you, but I'm
Mhm.
still gonna prove you the contrary. Like, you look
Exactly.
amazing."
I'm also wondering around like you're developing these personal brands for everyone else. How would you define your personal brand? And I want to pull up your Instagram while we talk about it because I was like, oh my God, she is such a businesswoman. This is so cool. It is
Um,
branded, babe. She said, don't play with me. Look,
I'm
she's so professional.
we're trying. Um, yeah, that was such an interesting path for me because I really started to market, let's say, myself as a brand photographer or personal brand photographer last year. So that's relatively fresh.
Yes.
And what made me, make the jump was business coaching. So I hired a business coach, and that changed a lot for me. I
Mm,
realized at that time that I was not just a photographer or that I was not just someone who likes to take pictures of people. It
mm-hmm.
really changed, the way I thought about myself changed a lot because I realized, oh no, we're doing business here. We're solving a problem. And that's how I got into like the marketing piece of it, of how do I brand myself? What do I say?
Mm-hmm.
How do I sell my service? And that forced me, I mean, until this day, that forces me to ask myself, okay, what is my special thing? What makes me special as a photographer? Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to tell for yourself. I don't know how it was about for you, but for me, that's my default thinking was, oh, I'm just a photographer amongst others,
Mm,
because I worked with a lot of photographers, and I think they're all super talented and they have more experience than me. So it was really hard for me to compete with them in my head, right? And then
that part
and
in
then
your
thinking
head.
about, yeah, that's all in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, of course. So thinking about, okay, how do I sell myself? Then I was forced to find things that are cool about me, and like,
Yes.
how do I communicate that? And that's still something I'm working on. And I think that's the most, I mean, as a entrepreneur or someone who's self-employed, that's the part that I really like as well, because you or I am always in a kind of self-reflection mode of, who am I? What do I want to do? Is that true? Because obviously the version that you see on Instagram, it still needs to be true to me, as a person.
Yeah.
But how much do I want to share? How much do I want to hide, let's say?
Right.
And having those questions coming over and over again, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it feels like, at least to me, it feels like a constant conversation
Mm.
with myself where it's like, I don't know, on Monday, I'm like, I know exactly the approach I want to take. And then
Yeah.
by Wednesday, I'm like, well, I want to also do that too. So, like, I don't know. It
Yeah.
feels like a lot of a give and take in this relationship to figure out how we market ourselves. And I mean, the landscape of social media and like how we market ourselves on social specifically has changed a lot
Mm,
since we started out as photographers. And
mm.
our relationship with ourselves have obviously shifted in that same time too. So it is a lot to learn and ask. Do you have any tips for teaching someone else how to market themselves specifically to be a brand photographer?
Mm. I think that's a good question. I feel like I'm still discovering that for myself, but I would
Mhm.
say the easiest, I don't know if that's the easiest, but I would say maybe start with choosing who you want to work with, who you feel the most comfortable working with. At least for me, that was how I started. Who do I feel the most close to? Who can I relate to? Because then it's easier for me to talk to them.
Mhm.
And from there, having conversation with them, you kind of understand what their difficulties are. When I talk to people, that was, oh, I don't really like myself on camera. That's the thing that came up a lot. So I'm like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
so that's an angle I can take. And then ask myself, what am I most interested in? Because whatever people might have difficulties with that you can help with, it's not necessarily what interests you the most as a photographer. I mean, me as a photographer, as an artist, feeling comfortable in front of the camera is just part of my job. This is how I think about it. It's part of the
Mhm.
job because otherwise I don't get to do the photos that I want to
Right.
do, right? But you still have to talk about it for the person looking for you because this is what they come with in mind. And then finding the balance between what you have to say, um, for them to recognize, okay, I need to work with that person, and also what interests you personally. And what interests me, for example, is it's showing their personality. So a lot of people would say, oh, I want to look professional, and now I'm saying, well, professional is the base. Like everyone, you get a professional photo shooting, you will look professional. So what is it about you that makes you you, right? Because people book you for who you are. And that's
That's
what speaks to me. And then you have to find like an in between what people care about and what you care about.
I love this approach. That makes so much sense. It's like, yeah, babes, that's why you're hiring me. Professional is the base. Now, who
Yeah,
are you? What do you want to show? What do you want to say with these images? I love that.
exactly. Yeah.
Do you mind talking about what your packages might look like for these folks? I thought about that um because I noticed that most of your galleries looks like everyone is in at least two locations. And potentially, I recognize
Mm,
that maybe they're not that far. Like it could be inside the house and outside the house. But
hmm
are you building something that's like, okay, you get two locations, two looks, and XYZ for
hmm
this amount? What does that look like for you?
So the way I decided to build my packages is it's more in term of the difference is more in term of how many pictures they get.
Mm,
So the first package is just headshots of 5 photos. So those are for people who typically needs for LinkedIn portraits or for their website, but they don't necessarily post a lot or anything. And then the the main package is kind of, the goal is to build a, how do you say that, like a picture pool, a pool of pictures, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
that they can use for all their marketing. So for social media, website, if they have client presentations and stuff like that. So this is the biggest difference between the packages. Now, within those packages, I always try to bring diversity so that they don't feel like they always use the same picture.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you take the small package with 5 pictures or the bigger package, you get to see yourself in different outfits with different background. I love to play with the environment. So wherever we are, if it's outside, if it's inside, I'm always trying to bring some kind of real life component to it, and then have like a plain background that is more neutral that they can easily use for a profile picture, for example.
Love it. That's the first thing I thought about when you said environment. This
Mm.
photo, so gorgeous. Oh
Oh,
my God. Look at that. I'm like, whoever she is, I do want to know what she's doing. Like, how can I be a part of this? Because my God, so stunning.
thank you. Yeah, the location was just so beautiful.
Ugh.
We were in a hotel in the mountains.
Ooh.
And yeah, and that was a really cool photo shoot because I was invited by a group of writers, so Black
Mm-hmm.
writers in Germany.
Ooh.
Yes. And that was their first trip together. So they decided to go 3 days somewhere, nice in nature together. And that was not really about work or anything. It was just like,
Mm-hmm.
we deserve peace and just
Nice.
talking, chilling together.
Yeah.
So that was the spirit. And then I know one of them, or the one who organized the trip, and he was like, "Hey, do you wanna come with us? We don't have any budget, but you can
Hell
stay."
yeah.
And yeah, yeah. And then I looked at the hotel. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming."
I'll be
And the
there.
look, yeah. And the location was just so beautiful. And so this person, Sarah, who is on the picture, she contacted
Mm-hmm.
me and she was like, "Oh, we're gonna be there. It's just so beautiful. That's the perfect, the perfect time to get some new photos."
Perfect. I love when life just like aligns in that way where it's
Yes.
like, why not have a shoot right here? Like, this is such a stunning place to be. This episode is brought to you by Art House, the first Black owned film lab in the city of Los Angeles. Art House specializes in C41, black and white, E6, and ECN2 processing for 35mm and medium format film, using a custom built cinema scanner to deliver stunning movie quality stills. Pick up or drop off a roll at their new location in Chinatown and check them out at arthousefilmlab.com or at arthousefilmlab on IG. And tell them we sent you. Okay, so now I want to get into some of this editorial work before we pivot because, oh my goodness, so beautiful. I actually found your work via Black Women Photographers Collective, and I think I found you because you won one of the Nikon grants, which, hey, congratulations, so awesome. And so the first part of your work that I found was the brand photography part. And like I
Mhm.
said, like it just stood out to me that you positioned yourself in this way. And I'm like, oh, this is so interesting. These photos are absolutely gorgeous. But in talking to you earlier, you were like, hey, girl, I do more things. And I was like, this is so stunning. So I want to start off with wax on, wax off. Can you
Mhm.
talk a little bit about this work?
Yes. Yeah, so that's the website that you're showing. That's the website I started with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, from a marketing point of view, that's more chaotic, right? I just show everything that I feel I feel proud of. That's a gallery, that's a portfolio. So I mix commissioned work with passion work. And so this one, Wax on, Wax off, was free work that I decided to do. It comes from, it's very personal, this
Mm-hmm.
it's about body hair and how we feel, or I feel like, I'm forced to battle against them and struggle with having like soft skin all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some kind of anger that comes with it, because I'm not a fan. It hurts. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time. And I'm thinking, I don't really want to do that. And so this is how this work started, or was born. And so you see one picture with a body covered with wax stripes, and that's a real body, but the way she stands, it looks like a mannequin. And
It's
I feel like,
so good. I feel like it says so much.
yeah, I
It's
feel like women
beautiful.
bodies are fantasized as those, yeah, mannequin. Like, we're not supposed to
Mm-hmm.
move, we're not supposed to live, and so that will represent that a little bit, yeah.
I
And
love
then,
this one so much. Have you ever shown this one in exhibit?
yes, I actually have. I printed them. So
Mm.
there is, I think, three other pictures in the series, and I printed them super big, like, I mean super big, maybe like 1 meter kind of prints, and I exhibited them
I don't know the
once.
conversion. Dang. Oh wait,
Oh,
I'll
me
do a quick
neither.
Google. Let's see. Okay, 3.2 feet. Okay, I got you. A yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big. That's big. And that was so interesting, because I was invited to show those pictures during like a workshop, or it was not really a workshop, but more like a speech about
Mhm.
diversity in design.
Mhm.
And so we hung up. I don't know how to say that. We put the
Mhm.
pictures
Hung
up.
up.
I was actually hung up, yes, or they hung up, because I was actually not there, so I didn't see them in real, in the room. But they hung up those pictures, and I was telling them, I mean, before I was telling them, are you sure it's okay? Because those pictures are so big and the room is relatively small. So to have these
Mm.
pictures in your face, it
Mhm.
can be a little bit like, ooh, okay. And they were telling me, so the two designers were telling me, no, but that's good, that's good.
Yeah.
So,
Just have those
so yeah,
images in your
afterward,
face. Especially an image like
exactly.
that, like, it's so punchy, but still, like, it feels
Mm,
like a soft image, I think with the lighting and the editing that you
mm,
have, it's a soft image. I can pull it back up, but it's so punchy, like, I do get that mannequin, stiff, statuesque feeling
mm,
from it, and obviously understanding, like, the context immediately,
mm,
I'm just like, "Ooh," like, the pain, and also that
mm.
it's stuck to her body, so I can just imagine, like, "Oh, yeah, this is gonna have to be ripped off, and that's not gonna be
Yeah.
fun." But that's already
Yeah.
what we're experiencing.
Exactly, exactly. And yeah, that what you said reminded me of the photo shoot, because we put I had a makeup artist, we were three, and she was telling me, are you sure you want to put this on the body, because it's gonna hurt? And I was like, oh, it's fine. You don't have to, like, you don't have to
Not
apply
right,
it. You
like,
can just put it like this.
fully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So in my head, I was like, oh, it's fine. And then when she had to pull it out, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I did not know it would be. So yeah, she had some patch of
Right,
skin
patchy
without hair.
hair.
Yeah.
I also wanna get into breadwinners. Can you talk about what this
Oh,
project means, which I was very into?
yes. I really like this project. So this project was my first solo exhibition.
Oh,
The
yay!
way, yes, that was in 20. Oh, I don't remember, 2022 or 2023. I'm so bad with dates.
Nice. Oh, me
Um,
too, girl.
yeah. And yeah, so I came with the idea of of an exhibition or of the this photo series because I was asked a lot the years prior to show my work at group exhibitions. You know, I was like, people came to me. I was like, oh, I have this group exhibition. Do you want to show anything? And because I was working more for magazines or clients, I didn't really have any artistic work really as a
Mm,
series. And so one year I was like, okay, let me do something that I'm really proud of showing instead of showing anything that I have. And I asked myself, okay, what kind of topic do I like? And I'm a bit obsessed with the topic of money.
mhm,
But in terms of like how it impacts you psychologically, like everyone has their own relationship with money and their own meaning of it. And then I did some research because money is a large topic. So I was like, okay, what kind of angle do I want to tackle that on? And so the breadwinners is about women who earn or earned more than their male partners, romantic partners. And I wanted to yeah, and so I met seven women and I talked to them about how it impacted their relationship, if it impacted their relationship.
mhm.
It was a very open conversation about, you know, what kind of consequence it has the within the relationship. And it says a lot, I think, about what money is seen as this, or how can I say that? I think I was just interested and curious to know what the effect would be because the standard is men earning more,
Mhm.
and a lot of questions comes with the situation where it's the contrary and the women earns more. So, you know, I was asking myself, okay, does that impact the relationship? Do the man feel a certain way? Do the women feel a certain way? And it was so interesting because every woman said something different and had a different story and a different relationship to it and different consequences within their relationship. And that was like the most interesting part.
And did you find that it was a little difficult to find people that were willing to be photographed and talk about it? Because that idea of like this money talk is really like a private thing, and that now this woman who is the higher earner is like, well, yeah, I make more than him and XYZ.
Yes. Yes. I so the way I found the women was on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
I went on women only groups and I just said, "Hey, I'm a photographer. This is what I want to talk about. You know, are there any of you who would be interested and open to have a conversation with me?" And I think I posted on maybe 3 different groups. And the interesting thing, so everyone who wrote, they were open from the beginning to talk about
Nice.
it, and I felt very honored and like, oh wow, this is this is crazy that we're strangers right now, right? And so that was really nice. And the interesting part though is that I think I talked to 6 women originally, and then I realized, wait, there are no German women in
Mm.
that group. It was all international, so Canadian, American, Polish. How
Mhm.
do you say that?
Polish. Polish.
Polish, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm in Germany, so maybe that would be
Right.
nice to have one German person. And then I thought about her because a friend of mine is in a relationship with a German woman. So I asked her, and originally she wanted to be anonymous, and then we talked, and
Mm.
she saw the project, and she was like, "Oh, it's okay, you can show my face." So that was really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I love that project. I think it's a really cool thing to talk about, and you're right, like, we don't see a lot of people talking about it, especially within a personal dynamic, but I also think you got really interesting shots. One of my favorites was the tie around the waist, like, as a
Mm.
belt. And I'm just like, "Oh," like, it immediate like, you know what we're talking about immediately,
Mm,
and I think that is, I think that's a similar feeling I felt in Wax On, Wax Off, and some of your other work where, like, you have a very interesting and creative way of, like, getting straight to the point, like, "This is
mm.
why we're here, this is the message." And obviously, art is subjective, and this is just how I feel, but I feel like I immediately was like, "Oh, yep, I get it."
I love to know that. Thank you.
Okay, and I also want to talk about this beautiful one. Oh, what is it called? Fabric of Forces. This is stunning, 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 stunning work. Can you talk about this collage element and a little bit more about Fabric of Forces?
Yes. So this was also a passion project, and it started with the brand of one of my friends. So she has a head wrap brand for Black women. So this is her, Anna, a really good friend of mine. And so she launched her brand, and the whole time I was just fangirling and thinking, oh, wow, this is so beautiful. And she was posting on Instagram also about all the process to from the design to the packaging. And it was done with so much love. I was just fan of the design. And then it comes also with a really strong backstory because all of those head wraps are inspired from a strong Black woman.
Mm.
Um, so, for example, this one is inspired from Billie Holiday.
Oh, yes. I
Yes.
can totally tell.
Right? And like every one of them is inspired by one. So I was like, okay, I need to do something with this. This is just so beautiful. It comes with meaning. And so I talked to her and I was like, hey, I want to take those head wraps and do something with it. She was like, okay, tell me. And then, so we basically, so I decided to take the photos of four different women's and try to embody the spirits of the women that she was inspired by. And then with the collage, I took photos of the pattern on the head wraps and tried to integrate them within the photos. So in the background, or there is also one who is only like kind of pedestal. There is one
Yeah, this one.
exactly. This one is more subtle. It's
But
a
so good.
pedestal.
Yeah.
And the other one with the little birds was also super playful, so that was fun. This one was also very fun to do. So yeah,
So
I really love this
incredible.
project. Yeah.
Me too. This is stunning. Also, I love the color palette. The collage work is really interesting and cool. And then also, these are just beautiful images. Like they feel well lit. I feel like there's so much texturally happening,
Mm,
well casted. Like you saying this is Billie Holiday. I'm like, oh, y'all picked a perfect person for this shot for her. Like, yes. Like,
yeah,
so stunning.
thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and
Thank
it
you for
was
like, oh, go ahead.
no, I just wanted to add something. It was also fun because I decided to do little videos. I don't know if you saw them, but on the website. So that was also it's. I love those passion projects because it's really there's no pressure, and I think this is how I work best. Actually, it's being able to come up with ideas and try and be like, oh, that works really well.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, that was fun.
That's so beautiful. I was just about to say thank you for sharing this part of your work too. I'm so glad you introduced me to that part. I say all the time, like research is one of my favorite things about this show and like learning about the people I'm talking to or getting ready to talk to. And for that part, I didn't even have to do the research. You were just like, "Oh, did you see this?" And I was like, "Ah, yes." And so I'm just so happy we were able to talk about that too. This feels like a perfect time to take a little break though. So we'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so we've had this segment. It's like our newest segment. We started it just for our 6-month celebration last month. and it's called the PLC playlist, the Photographer Life Check playlist. And I just want you to put us on to a song that you maybe played while shooting recently, or just a song that you're like, you can't stop playing right now. And we're going to add it to our actual PLC playlist so everybody else can love it and listen to it too.
Okay.
No, you seem so nervous about it.
I am so nervous about it. I'm like, I need to think about it. A song. So what is the question? I need to tell a song.
Yeah, just give
That
us a song that either, you're playing a lot right now or just a song you love so we can add it to the playlist. You can also, if you need to, you could pull up your phone and be like,
Oh
wait,
yeah, let me do that.
what am I actually listening to? Because sometimes when I get asked that question, I'm like, I don't know, and everything goes blank.
Same. That's what happened to me right now. So let me get my phone, okay?
Yeah.
The thing is, I listen to artists a lot. I don't think in terms of songs a lot of the time. I think in terms of artists. What kind of vibe do I want? So that's why when I'm asked for a specific song, I'm like, okay, what song did I listen to?
That's so real.
Yeah. Okay. I will say Taiki,
Ooh, how do
which
you spell that?
yeah, Tayc. He's a French, let's say, R&B singer.
Ooh.
Very lover boy kind of type.
Yes.
Yes. I love his sound. It's very sensual, but it's like, I don't know, it puts me in a good mood. I just wanna dance like this, you know?
Ooh.
So I
I'm so
really like
excited
to
to hear
listen to
this.
him.
Okay, what song do you
Yeah.
want to give us?
Oh, yeah. So the song, let me see. Okay, I would say Dodo, Dodo.
Dodo. Okay. Okay, I want to hear
That's
it, so I'm
my
gonna play a
song.
little snippet right now.
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, come on, you just put me on.
You know what
Adding.
I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of music in languages I don't understand also. So this is
That's
perfect. I'm
perfect.
definitely adding that.
What would be one song or one artist that you listen to right now a lot?
Actually right now, so the one that I was gonna have my PLC edition, this song, I was on set yesterday and I was just telling everybody about this band. Okay, so I love a lot of different kind of music,
Mhm.
and in the type of rock I typically like is emo punk. There's some
Mhm.
other ones in there, but I definitely was very strong emo punk era girl. Like, you know me if you know, like Paramore, Trapped, Linkin
Yes.
Park, the girls. You know what I'm saying? But lately, I think that era of rock has birthed a lot of more Black kids who are making rock music now. And so we have a lot of Black rock bands that are like spawning right
Mm.
now. And there's this one called The Paradox. I love them. Well, I guess I just love their song. I don't know a lot of their stuff. I think they're still also pretty new. But there's this song, Do Me Like That, very emo, punky. They're just so of that era. It's like, oh, I know exactly who you were listening to. You're probably listening to like Simple Plan, Yellow Card. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
We had the same teenagehood.
exactly. And they're kids now. So it was just finding them. I was just so happy about it. So that's my addition for today. But are you specifically talking about songs in another language?
Oh no, I was
Oh, okay,
just
cool, cool, cool.
curious about what you listen to, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was on repeat yesterday. I was putting everybody on. I couldn't shut up about it.
Perfect. I will listen to it for sure, for sure.
Yay. Okay, let's move on to our next segment. This one is one of my faves, but also, at least so far, it's like a fan fave. Like people really love this segment, and I'm so happy because this was probably the first segment that I knew I wanted in the podcast. And it's
Mhm.
called Photographs Not Taken. It's a question I think about all the time, and I was excited to get to ask other people. So the question is, what's a photograph you wish you would have taken but never did? And it could be that maybe you just didn't have your camera on you. You could have had your camera on you, but like it just wasn't the moment that you were like, I shouldn't take this photo. Or maybe like, oh, I'm scared to pull out my camera because of the circumstance. Like whatever it is, I would love
Mhm.
to know what's a photograph that like just lives in your mind that you wish you could have taken.
I had to think about one moment where I really regretted not having my camera
Mm.
on, with me. It was years ago. I was probably, like, 19 or something, and I was taken on this small plane,
Hmm.
the plane when you can only be 2 people, the pilot, and you're in the
Yeah.
co-pilot seat. So very exceptional situation that never happened again, right? It was like a one-time opportunity, at least at that time for me, and I'm super excited, and I'm like, "Okay, let's do this." And, I remember my mom didn't know because she would have just get crazy and be like,
Oh
"No,
yeah.
you don't do this." And so I go on the plane, and then it was in the south of France,
Hmm.
so the direction we were going was towards the mountains, and the clouds are coming like a cascade,
Oh my
and the
God.
sun is just shining on this, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, "This is so beautiful." And
Oh
I
my
so wanted to take a picture,
goodness.
and I didn't have my camera on.
Oh, one thing, I mean, of course, it's like you got to get the mandatory sky shot when you're in a regular plane, right? But like, I genuinely, it's something I don't know about being in the sky, like being that close to a cloud is just like, ooh, like this feels so incredible and it's always so gorgeous and the clouds are always so different. And that's
Yeah.
in, I don't know, a standard airplane. Being in one of the two-seaters? Oh, I bet
Mhm.
it felt like you were, like, really in the cloud.
Right? It really
Oh,
feels, and you can feel every little movement of the plane. It feels like you're flying, like you can just open the door and and
right.
you're literally in the sky. That was crazy. And I was looking at this and I was just so in awe. It felt like something that you see in the movies, maybe, like a
Oh,
beautiful
yeah.
shot, but not something that you would see in real. And I was like, "Oh," and I said that out loud. I was like, "Oh, I wish I had my camera." And the pilot, told me, "Well, you can take pictures with your eyes." Like the And I
And
was like,
it's
"Yeah,
not
that's true."
enough. It's
Yeah,
not enough.
it's yeah. I mean, I had to make it enough. I was like, "Okay, well, yeah, that's what I have to do now."
But
But
I
that
also
was
I
just
do
such a
love moments like that because it's like, I don't wanna blink. Like, this is
Yeah,
so beautiful that I'm just like,
yeah. Yeah, you would want
"Ooh."
to take it all in.
All in. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I
That
love
was
this
one of
one.
this moment.
Oh,
That
that's
was
a
just such a
perfect,
beautiful.
perfect photograph not taken. I love this one.
And you know what? Now I'm also thinking maybe that's best that I didn't take any picture because it wouldn't have been close to anything that I really felt in that moment. So,
That's such a good point too. Oh my goodness. There was this place I went to called Badwater Basin out here. It's a really interesting place because it used to be a lake. It's something like 300 feet under sea level at this point.
mhm.
And it's like a dried up lake. It's like almost near Las Vegas. Like it's
Mm.
near the border when you're on California and Nevada. And I actually went to this place because I saw somebody talking about it on TikTok and it looked gorgeous. And it was maybe like a 4 or 5 hour drive away from me. And I was like, I
Mm.
gotta go. And while I was there, I took pictures, digital, film, and on my phone. And looking at them, I'm like, it doesn't do my memory justice though. Like I'm like, some of
Right?
these pictures are gorgeous. I'm like, wow, this is stunning. I love this photo. I'm gonna even share it. I'm even gonna sell a print about it. But I'm like, it's nothing compared to what I saw. Like the vastness of this space. I'm still like, I'm showing people still. I just showed a friend of mine like a couple days ago. I'm like, this is nothing though, girl. Like you need to be
Mm.
there. And
Yes.
I love places like that. I love
Mm.
experiences like that. So hearing that, also one of my side quests, Priscilla, I have a lot of side quests. I like to do a lot of different kinds of things. And one of the ones I intended on doing this year was taking a discovery flight to see if I could actually become a pilot. So I really wanted to take a class. They do these discovery flights where like you're not fully in control at all, but
Mhm.
it's like a practice test. Like, can you really actually be up here and kind of be in this operation feeling so
Mm.
that then you could actually go to pilot school
Um,
kind of thing? And I intended on doing it for my birthday, but it rained, so it got canceled. It was also around the time when like all the planes were dropping and
mm.
everybody was like, "Oh my God, don't do it." And I was like, "No, I'm about to do it." And so the first class got canceled and then the rescheduled class got canceled. And I was like, okay, I think maybe I shouldn't do it.
Yeah, I guess that's a sign. Like
Right? Like,
there's something there.
heard you, right? The universe is talking. I won't do it
Yeah.
right now. So,
But yeah, but that's such an exciting side quest. What?
oh my God.
You have wild side quests.
Now I'm like, I need to pick this back up because I need to be in the seat that you were in so I can be like,
Oh,
ah.
yes, yes, yes. And to your point of the location that you took pictures of and you were like,
Yeah.
it didn't do it justice. I feel like this a lot with landscapes. And I think that's why I never take
Mm-hmm.
landscapes pictures because
That's
I
so
take the picture and then
real.
I look at it and I'm like,
Right.
nah, nah,
It's not enough. Like, this
it's
is,
not enough. Yeah,
I
that's why I
completely
don't take
relate.
landscapes.
I feel you. I feel you. Okay, we can move on to the next segment called The Gear Don't Matter, But. So, this segment is, in fact, a celebration of our gear. And I wanted to
Mhm.
do it because, of course, as a photographer, we always hear, what camera are you using? What camera are you using? What camera is that?
Mm,
What did you take that with?
mm,
And it can be annoying because the camera is not the thing that is actually taking the photo. It's the
yeah.
photographer. If you have the eye, you can do the thing. And I know any photographer I've ever spoken to, we have that same feeling with that question or
Mm,
those types of questions, right? But we do love our gear. We have so much
mhm.
gear that supports us in the work that we create, and they're important tools. And so I wanted to celebrate some of the gear that we use. So, my question to
Oh.
you is, what's your favorite piece of equipment that you use? And it doesn't have to be a camera, but it can be.
Oh, I love this question.
Yay!
Yeah. Because I also have the same reaction if someone asked me, and I think particularly if another photographer asked me what kind of camera I use, I'm like,
Uh,
how is that relevant?
why would you be asking that? Like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, exactly. Out of all people.
Right.
um, I mean, I do love my camera, to be honest.
Me too.
Um, so I want to say, okay, I want to say two because I feel like just saying the camera is kind of boring. So the first one will
Yeah.
be my camera. I have a Sony Alpha 4.
Okay.
And the second one, it has to be one of my lights. I don't have a ton, but
Hmm.
I think it's the B10 Pro Photo flash.
Oh, yeah,
It's like a small
definitely.
mobile one.
I love
I
those.
really, right. I like that it's portable. It's easy to transport. It's very light. I don't know. I just love it.
Strobes on the go. Battery powered strobes
Yeah.
changed the game. I love them so much.
Yes, they're so easy to use and they're so intuitive to use as well. I used to be
Yeah.
scared of flashlights because of all the buttons and like things to think about. And then those came and I was like, "Oh, that's easy."
Yeah. I mean, that's the best part about Profoto as a brand. Whoever did the UX
Yeah.
UI, they changed the
Yeah,
game for sure because they made it so simple. It's like the iPhone of lighting. Like, it's just boop,
exactly.
boop, you got it. Like,
Exactly. I feel like they nailed the Apple spirit for strobes.
literally. Yeah. Shout out to
Yeah.
Profoto. Hit us up, sponsor the podcast.
Yes.
Okay. Honestly, it's perfect timing because our last segment is shoot your shot. So I just shot my shot at
Mm.
Profoto, excuse me. But this is opportunity where we want to help you manifest you shooting
Uh-huh.
your shot. So, who is somebody or a company you would love to work
Mhm.
for?
Oh my God. Wait, I have to think. Um, okay, I would say I actually know. I had a name at the moment you you asked the question, but sometimes you want to make it complicated, you know?
Right?
I have like the a few days ago, we were gathering with friends, and a friend of mine was like, "Are you sponsored by Veja? Do you know that brand?"
Who you're talking about? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So that would be Veja because
yeah. Okay.
yeah, those are I wear them 365 days in the year. I
They should
buy,
be sponsoring you.
right? I buy 3 pairs, 1 year, and I just wear them for the next 2 years.
Yes. And they
And
are
then I buy
super
another
cute.
ones. And they're cute, they're comfortable. I mean, some of them are more comfortable than others, but
Right.
I don't know, I just love them. And they're French. I think that's why I love them. They're
Right.
French. They are made with they're made with like ethically fair, they pay their
Oh, I didn't know
worker
that.
very fair. Yeah, this is their angle. I mean, their marketing angle is like it's like a
Right.
fair eco-friendly shoes. And yeah, I just love them. I wear them every day. I I love their aesthetic. They actually have rule to not do any advertisement. So you will never see like an ad on the street, or you will never see an ad on Facebook. I mean, at least it was that way like a couple years ago. I don't know, maybe they changed. I don't think so, but and I was like, this is so interesting. But they still do campaigns
Mm.
and obviously like lookbooks, and I just love
Right.
their aesthetic. It's very warm. It's very it's personal. It feels like, I don't know, it feels really good and natural, and I think that's my vibe.
That's so tight. Okay, so we're pulling all of our manifesting powers to help Priscilla get this incredible gig to do a lookbook, a campaign, maybe both. Vija. Also, I didn't know how to say their name either. Vija. If that's how you say your name, if it's not, just email Priscilla and be like, hey,
Yeah.
this is how you say it, and we want you on the job. Here's all the money. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, I take it. I receive, I receive, I receive. And I know
Yes.
there will be debate on how to say the name. I know, I know.
Right. This is perfect. Priscilla, thank you so much. This was a perfect episode. I'm so grateful to have you. Can you tell the
Thank
people
you so
where you would
much.
like to be found?
So you can find me at Priscillia_brand photography. This is where I post on Instagram, and on my website, priscilliagrubo.com.
Also, I'm realizing now that I'm pronouncing your name a very American way. I'm so sorry. I should have been
No,
saying Priscilla this whole time. I'm sorry. I should have asked.
it's fine. No, it's all good.
Well, you can find us. Speaking of pronunciations, make sure y'all say her name right, okay? You can find Photographer Life Check everywhere you get your podcast. Please do subscribe. Like I mentioned earlier, especially on YouTube and Spotify, that's where you can watch us and see all of the work that we pull up during these conversations. And also our beautiful faces. Hello. And you can also follow us on Instagram at Photographer Life Check. That's where we're posting clips so you can see some stuff there too. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.